Mariners lose 1-0 in 10 innings. They fall to 63-53 on the season, and the series against the Orioles is evened up. Let's talk about how it happened. 10th inning with the infield drawn in. Ryan Mountcastle scorches. I said scorches too much yesterday. I'm saying it too much today. He singles home Cedric Mullins. The Mariners are unable to score in the bottom of the 10th. Baltimore gets the win. Before we get into positives and negatives, I got a big positive for you. Simply Seattle is awesome. And if you're looking for Seattle Mariner gear, even after tonight, and you should be, no better place to go than Simply Seattle. We honored King Felix tonight. There's somebody telling me right now on the phone that they want to get into on this deal. King Felix stuff. They've got the amazing Ohtani deal going on right now. Check that out. You can get an awesome Ohtani shirt. To come to Seattle, I am definitely going to be purchasing some of that stuff. They've got stuff like the hat I'm wearing tonight, the Seahawks hat. Look, Seahawks are my favorite NFL team by a long shot, and they've got great stuff for them. I forgot to mention the Sonics last night. They have great Sonic stuff. They have great Kraken stuff. They have great Sounders, who I forgot to mention last night. Anything you're looking for Seattle related, Simply Seattle has it. And if you want to save 15% off your order when you find all of this amazing stuff, and I'll post a link in the website or on the YouTube page, www.simplyseattle.com, and then use code MOLLYWOP15, 15 MOLLYWHOP15 to save 15% on your order. Simplyseattle.com. Can't recommend it enough. Tonight is a tough one, folks, because how mad can you really be, right? You had won 8 straight. You had been playing fantastic baseball. You played arguably your most complete game, I think, of the year on Friday night. You have looked great. How mad can you be? The answer is I'm pretty ticked off. Tonight was frustrating for a lot of reasons. And I want to get into them, but let's start with the positive. I mean, first of all, the biggest positive was the Felix ceremony, of course, was fantastic. And it was so amazing to see. I talked about it on Friday night and I got pretty choked up. It was so amazing to see how many of you feel the same way about Felix Hernandez. He was the franchise. All due respect to some guys like Kyle Seager and Robinson Cano, who I think people forget how great he was in Seattle for a few years, and some other guys, Nelson Cruz. Felix was Seattle. Kyle Seager, I think I mentioned him, but anyway, he was the Mariners. And seeing how touched he was too, that was awesome. That was awesome. And I knew I was going to cry. But seeing Adrian Beltre there, giving him that hug, I don't know if it was a true surprise or not. The cynic in me says maybe he knows. But the optimist in me, that it's there. The optimist in me says that he had no idea. And it was, what an amazing moment. What an amazing moment. And just seeing how I'm a big appreciative guy, right? That's how I've been my whole life. And I like to consider myself to be a very generous person. That's something I've worked on my entire life, is generosity, because I love making people feel good. But I also do admit there's some selfishness to it for me too. That if you don't appreciate the good things I do for you, it can be taken away real quick. That's not how it's supposed to work. You're just supposed to do nice things for people, right? But when people don't appreciate it, it's harder to do those things, right? To say Felix clearly appreciated the Seattle Mariner fan base, I don't think you can overstate it, excuse me. He loves Seattle. He loves all of you. And In a weird way, tonight was kind of the perfect tribute to him. And in part, because let's talk about the biggest positive after the ceremony, which again I thought was fantastic. And I'll say this too. Good for you, Mariner fans, for letting your feelings of John Stanton know. I was really proud of you. You don't need my approval, but I was really proud of you tonight, especially early on. Anyway, the overall overwhelming positive that you can take from this game is George Kirby is a flippin' stud. 9 innings of 3-hit baseball with 7 strikeouts, no walks, 73 of 103 pitches for strikes. He was dominant and deserved so much better. And did anybody deserve so much better more than the guy they were honoring tonight? No. The answer is no. Luis Castillo has been fantastic this year, was fantastic last year, was fantastic in the postseason last season. You can make the argument, I think, that George Kirby right now is the best pitcher on the Seattle Mariners. I would not make that argument. It's fine if you do. It's semantic. It doesn't matter. But you could make that argument that George Kirby is the best pitcher on the Seattle Mariners right now. And that's not an insult to Castillo. It's just how good Kirby has been. And it's scary to think how much better that he can get. And he was fired up tonight. I think I saw a pitch go a hundo tonight. I definitely saw one from Munoz, who we'll talk about. But George Kirby, goodness gracious, what a future you have. And the present is pretty darn good too. He was unbelievable. I think that might have been Gilbert's 12 strikeout, 7 inning start was really good a few days ago. Am I prisoner of the moment here to say that was the best start this year? I don't think so. I'm calling it the best start this year. Oh, it's close though. Logan Gilbert was so good. I'm going to have to think about that one. I'll give you an answer tomorrow because I'm going to go back and forth on which one I think was actually better. Unfortunately, that's the end of the positives because there's no offensive positives here. I guess the one offensive positive I'd say is, man, Cade Marlowe, great at bat against Felix Bautista. And of course, I'll talk about it. I promise I'll talk about it. Great at bat. And that's about it. Cal Raleigh did have a double. And that kind of leads me into the negatives. Okay. So Ty France gets on twice, which is great. It is a problem how slow Ty France is right now. It is a problem because it's one thing if you are a station to station guy who shows big time power and incredible on base percentage skills. I can deal with station to station. That's how this game of baseball has been played for a while now. Station to station, station to station, station to station. I'm okay with that. But you better hit for some power and you better get on a lot if you can't run. And guess what? Ty France doesn't. I know he hit a home run last night. That was great. 9 home runs and a 383 slugging percentage from a 20 on the 2080 scale for running doesn't do it justice. They have to score a run there. And I tweeted that and I said, you have to score a run there. And people were like, what are you talking about? You're sending Ty France there? No, I'm asking for somebody who can actually move to be on base in that situation. I absolutely would have pinch ran for Ty France in that. It was blatantly clear to me, blatantly clear that 1 or 2 runs, see, they agree with me too. 1 or 2 runs was going to be the difference. Let me turn this off. If it's the person I was just talking to that I was just saying, hey, I'm going to record a video, it wasn't, thank goodness. I would have absolutely pinch ran for Ty France there. And it's another reason why I don't think Ty France is the answer for this organization at first base. Very popular in the clubhouse, solid defensive player, has shown the makings of enough offensive ability to be a starting first baseman at times, but he's not young and he's aging poorly. You have to upgrade there, I think, next year. I'd love to have Ty France on the bench. Guy who can play first base, guy who can DH, hit against lefties. I'm cool with that. Can't be your starting first baseman, and can't hit third for you as he did for much of the season. Eugenio was really bad tonight. Tom Murphy was really bad tonight, except for one at bat. He had a terrific at bat where he drew that walk. The other three were awful. Teoscar gets a hit, but it wasn't good. I mean, the effort wasn't good. I guess he did hit a line drive. But overall, the offense tonight was just awful against a bad pitcher. Cole Irvin is not good. It was a very pathetic offensive performance. And look, we talked about it yesterday. Julio Rodriguez, you're a gosh dang superstar. You're trying to do too much in these late inning situations. And, he gets that strikeout with one out after Josh Rojas got absolutely worked. Holy crap. I know it ended up being a full count. It's because Felix Bautista threw 3 garbage balls and then said, oh, it's Josh Rojas. And I throw 190 billion miles an hour. I'll just throw this by him. So Bautista did throw 2 really good pitches to Felix. Really good pitches. But he also threw a slider that broke right in his hitting wheelhouse. And he tried to do too much. Something he's got to work on. It's good, I guess, that Felix is trying so hard. I don't think effort's ever going to be a question mark with Felix Hernandez. But he's got to let the game come to him sometimes. He's such a smart player. He's got such a magnanimous personality. He has been very good since May, and he's been otherworldly good. Maybe that's a little too strong. Incredibly good since the All-Star break. He is maybe the main reason, him and J.P. Crawford, that the Seattle Mariners are in the position they are today. And that's another frustrating thing for me too. And not asking the Mariners to win every game. Maybe I am. It'd be really nice. Be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Maybe it wouldn't. I think I talked about this before. Maybe 162-0 would be really boring. I lost my train of thought. No, what I was saying was I'm not asking him to win every single game. You're going to lose games, and especially when you've won as many as the Seattle Mariners did in a row, it's just going to happen. But this is a daily show, and I'm going to point out when they play badly. And outside of George Kirby, they played badly tonight. Munoz, so he gives up the run. And it does come, it was a zombie runner. He's not responsible for it, but there's a couple things here. Number one, hold a runner. Somebody on the Mariners, hold a gosh dang runner. This might be a Seattle Mariner choice here, where it's like, let him run, that type of thing. I don't know why. Maybe they just think, hey, if you make the key pitches, it won't matter. I don't know. But the Mariners are terrible at holding runners, and it's a problem, especially when Murphy catches, because Murphy's arm is a noodle. For a major league catcher, it's a noodle. You could see the hump on the throw on one of the stolen base attempts late tonight. I believe it was in the 9th inning with Henderson. You could see the hump. You should not be able to see a hump from a major league catcher throwing 180 feet or so. That should not happen. But it does. And his offense has more than made up for it. In my humble estimation, I don't think it's even close that it's made up for it. But it's a problem, especially when the Mariners just flat out don't hold runners well. And that runner gets on third because of Andres Munoz, because he did a very poor job of holding the runner. He has one little pickoff attempt where he steps off. Now, like, I'm paying attention to you, and immediately, no. Ugh. And then, he gets it out. Runner on third, one out. Makes a terrible pitch to Mountcastle, who scorched that ball. It wasn't because it was a drawn-in infield. That ball was hit over 100 miles per hour. It was peed on. Sorry for the poor language there. That ball was absolutely laced. It would have been a hit whether the infield was playing straight up or whatever. Laced. Wasn't a good pitch. He does get out of it, even though Dylan Moore, who it's just not a good shortstop, folks. They miss JP Crawford. They're going to miss him a lot. It's very obvious, especially offensively, his ability to get on base. But also, while I think JP Crawford is a very flawed defensive player, calling him an upgrade over Moore and Caballero and Haggerty or whatever the heck you want to do there, huge difference. Huge difference. Mariners just don't. They have a ton of quality shortstop prospects. They don't have depth there. And it's something that frustrated me about their offseason. There's just something about losing this game. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say was, you not only lose on the night you honor Felix, which is so frustrating, and to lose in the way they do. Frustrating and yet somehow comfortable because we've seen something like this so often. But also, a win tonight, and you would have been officially, I know I've talked about control your own destiny a lot, right? Control your own destiny, control your own destiny. Well, it would have been literal tonight because with the win, the Seattle Mariners would have been in the third wild card spot. Oh, a lot of time left. Mariners should feel great about where they are. Mariners should feel great about how they're playing. But tonight stunk after the ceremony. Watched the whole thing. Loved every minute of it. Well, other than when the owner was talking. But I loved everything up until that. Thought Felix's speech was amazing. Mariners social media team and their production team crushed it again. They're as good as it gets. And then the game starts, and you have George Kirby absolutely shove. So that part was fun. But the offense tonight was anemic. And some credit to Cole Irvin, made a couple of good pitches. Mariners missed some very hittable pitches tonight. Very hittable. What a bummer. What an absolute bummer of it to have that fun stuff at the beginning and to have that pomp and circumstance and just lay a literal egg offensively afterwards is just. Ugh. Tomorrow, we've got Bryce Miller against Kyle Bradish. Bradish is probably their best pitcher. I don't know why I horsed that. Probably their best pitcher. Not their most talented, but the guy who is getting the best results and has pretty good stuff. I mean, hittable against Bryce Miller, who we'll see. We'll see. These rookie pitchers just scare the crap out of me. Mostly good. Bryce Miller, I believe, his last time out. I'm not crazy, right? Was fantastic. Yeah. I think so. These things are all running together. Oh. Follow me on the website at Crawford_MILB. Sports Sometimes Podcast. What else do I want to tell you about? RotoWire Fantasy Baseball Podcast, another live episode tomorrow at 10:30 Pacific with my buddy Ryan Boyer. Yeah. I mean, again, what do you say? They've been so good. They have been so good that this should just be one you can say it happens. But for it to happen tonight,